Hi, welcome to my channel. So you usually tune in to see me do plan with me's, but I have really been thinking about the kind of content that I want to have on my channel, which sounds way more like official than it actually is, but just other videos that I want to do. And so I'm working on coming up with some ideas. I'm actually shooting footage for those videos, but this was one of the things that I wanted to do. I am, or have been in the past, a really avid reader. And if any of you have small children at home, then you know that it's not always that easy to kind of settle in with a good book and read. And I tend to be a person that I like to read paper books. I'm not big on e-readers or audiobooks. I don't know why, but anyway, so I thought that I would come here in this space today to bring you a library haul. And we pretty much go to the library at least once a week. Sometimes it's every other day. It just really depends on what's going on, books that I need to pick up, books that I need to return, if there's a program or a story time that I want to take my son to. And it's just sometimes a great place to hang out when it's really hot. Like, I want to get out of the house, but I don't want to do anything outside because the humidity is just really, really intense. So yeah, so I have picked up some really good books from the library this week, and I wanted to share them with you. And I read lots of different things. There's not like one specific genre or type of book that I'm really drawn to. I kind of, if you've watched any of my Plan With Me videos, you know I tend to kind of be all over the place and bounce around a lot. That's just how my brain works. And that is my reading taste as well. I kind of pick up what I like, recommendations that I get from other people. I've fallen down the booktube wormhole, so I have just like added a ton of books to my Goodreads lately that I've gotten from booktubers or people on Goodreads. So anyway, the first one that I picked up, this was definitely a booktube recommendation. It's called Tiny Pretty Things. It's fiction. I think technically it may be a young adult fiction, but anyway, it's set in New York City Ballet, and I love the kind of drama that surrounds the whole like art scene at that level. So whether it be artists or dancers or whatever, I just find it really, really interesting to read about. So it's kind of, I guess, like Gossip Girl, but in the ballet. But the recommendation that I watched, she said that it made some really interesting points about race and class, and those are two things that are really interesting to me. So I picked this up, and hopefully it's a good one. This is a mystery, and I do tend to read lots of mysteries and thrillers. It's just kind of, that's like my comfort reads. I also watch a lot of mysteries and thrillers, so it's not any shock that it's something that I'm naturally drawn to. This was also another booktube suggestion. I think the channel that I got it from was Kate Howe. But anyway, it's Claire DeWitt and the City of Dead by Sarah Gran. So Claire DeWitt is the world's greatest PI, a one-time teen detective in Brooklyn. She has deep roots in New Orleans, where she's mentored by the brilliant Constance Darling until Darling was murdered. She returns to a post-Katrina New Orleans to solve a mystery, essentially. So that also looks really interesting. I can't wait to dive into that. Maybe I should move my coffee. Let's see. And then this is also in the thriller category, In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. It's about, I guess, a group of friends who go to a hen party, which I guess in the US it would be a bachelorette party at a house in a dark, dark wood, and kind of what happens there. So that sounds really good as well. And then Pretty Is by Maggie Mitchell. This is also a thriller. That sounds really interesting, so I'll read you a little bit from the flap. The summer precocious Lois and pretty Carly Mae were 12 years old. They were kidnapped, driven across the country, and held in a cabin in the woods for 2 months by a charismatic stranger. 20 years later, Lois has become a professor. Carly Mae is an actress. When a movie script with a shockingly familiar plot draws the two women together once more, they must face public exposure of their dark secret history. So that sounds kind of intriguing. Let's see. And my last fiction is The Museum of Extraordinary Things by Alice Hoffman. Hoffman writes kind of magical realism, I guess, maybe. I think that's the correct term. So a friend recommended this to me because I liked The Night Circus. I had really gotten into those kinds of books recently, so it's kind of got that same feel to it. There's, the Museum of Extraordinary Things. It's a Coney Island boardwalk, so it's that same kind of carnival-esque atmosphere, and it looks really interesting. And then I also have 2 nonfiction picks this time. So I'll do this one first. The Devil's Gentleman, Privilege, Poison, and the Trial That Ushered in the 20th Century. So this is about a murder that happened in New York in the 1890s. It touches upon sort of the news media that's driven by kind of scandals. This particular trial becomes, the trial of the century for its time. There's also some early forensics involved, so it kind of hits on all of my true crime boxes. So there's, history, a little bit of drama, there's sex, rich people behaving badly. Those are all things that I like to read about. And then my last pick from the library is called The Nordic Theory of Everything in Search of a Better Life. And for the life of me, I can't remember how this book came up on my radar. So the author, Anu Partanen, I'm sure I just destroyed that name, is from Finland. She moved to the States when she got married. Her husband's American. And it is sort of about, I guess, the fallacy of the American dream and how the things that we value in our culture don't really make the American dream possible. So yeah, a little bit inside the flap. Ed Miliband, the leader of the British Labour Party, made a surprising quip: if you want the American dream, go to Finland. The author had recently left Finland and moved to America for the love of her life. Their relationship flourished, but she found that navigating the basics of everyday life, from health insurance and taxes to education and childcare, was much more complicated and stressful than anything encountered in her homeland. She first attributed her crippling anxiety to the difficulty of adapting to a new culture, but as she got to know Americans better, she discovered that they shared her deep apprehension. To understand why life in Finland is so drastically different from the way things are in the US, she began to look closely at both countries. She just debunks criticism that Nordic countries are socialist nanny states, revealing instead that it is we Americans who are far more enmeshed in unhealthy dependencies than we realize. So yeah, this looks really interesting, particularly with the political climate of America right now. So I cannot wait to dive into this. I love the cover art. I'm a sucker for this kind of Scandi arts and crafts look. But anyway, so yeah, these are my picks. I hope to, next week I have a busy work week, so I'm not sure how much reading I will get done, but I hope to dive into these soon. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, to like, subscribe for more videos. I'm in the next month hoping to do a lot more varied content on my channel, so that's kind of exciting. And also if you have any book recommendations and you want to leave them down below, that would be awesome. I'm always looking for new things to read. I will also leave a link to my Goodreads profile if you want to follow me there. We can be friends and I can see what you're reading, you can see what I'm reading. It'll be fun. So thanks for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.